So traditionally in Chekhov, there is a tool known as the Trinity of the psychology. There are thinking force dominated people, there are feeling force dominated people, and there are will force dominated people. So there are distinct habits that each of those psychology types inhabit. So we're going to start with thinking. Thinking people tend to walk in very linear lines. Things are very sharp and precise. So they are constantly making sure that they are walking almost in a grid. They don't curve, they turn. And their center is in the tip of their index finger. So I want you guys keeping in mind the linear grid of everything being precise. And the other thing I want to point out to you about thinking dominated people is that they tend to enunciate the t, the p, and the k of words. So things are very sharp when they speak. Okay? So whenever you're ready, down. Great. Now, as you're moving through the room, we're going to switch to feeling dominated. And a feeling dominated person, at their most unveiled expression of that, they walk in curves. They tend to not be very linear. Their center is in their chest, in their heart. And their arm, they tend to lead with the inside because they're very vulnerable, and they tend to focus on the vowels of their verbiage. So as we move through the space, we want to make sure that we're not walking on a grid anymore. We're kind of dancing or floating throughout it. And then we're going to pick up our text, and we're going to start speaking. Yes. And now we're going to transform into will force. This force tends to be centralized in the groin and hip area. They tend to lead with their hips, and they tend to enunciate the g, d, those juicy consonants. So let's take a second, think of our lines, and let's approach our text through the will force. Okay, great. So now we're just going to kind of siphon through these. So as you're walking through the space, I might yell out thinking, and then you're going to switch, and then I may yell out feeling, and you're going to switch, okay? So resume will force when you're ready. Snap.
Swooping and attacking. He didn't make that.
Suppose after meeting her and hearing the story, I still
He was the portfolio on the face of the
incident shock.
Feeling.
I mean, would this Sebastian Venable Memorial Foundation still be interested?
Switch to thinking.
Stop.
Mrs. Venable,
I want you.
I like to let the
For a
Miss Cap.
How do you guys like working with that?
Oh, that was cool. That's fun.
Cool. So we're going to play a little game after we go through our run through where if we're not in the scene, we get to call out what forces we want actors to use in their scenes. So it's going to be really interesting and funny for us.
Got the truth. Got the. You see, I need a line here. Give me the line. You're not giving me no line? Or me. And he would say
Feeling tempo of 4.
He would say that because he was clairvoyant, like all poets are clairvoyant. And, well, he had this scarlet fever thing when he was 15.
Lisa, thinking tempo of 10.
He wouldn't get off those horses and he kept going into the water and stuff like that. And so what happened was, he wanted that because he didn't want it while he was alive because it would disturb him. But afterwards he did want it and he wanted the world to see his
Tempo 1.
Poem of summer. Tempo of 10.
Oh, volunteer, we're here.
They're here.
Get them upstairs.
Willful 10.
I don't want them.
Feeling 5.
Now, Doctor. I don't know what she's going to say. I've not heard the story except I have gathered that it is a dreadful assault on my son's moral reputation. And I don't know what she's going to say, but I just need to make sure you know that my son is Chase. C-H-A-S, not E-D, although he was.
I understood what you said.
About what happened to Sebastian in Cabeza de Lobo.
What do you want me to say about what?
Just stop telling that fantastic story.
Then I am going to have to tell
My sake and George's sake, for the sake of your brother and your mother, don't repeat that horrible story.
Then I am going to have to tell Aunt Violet what happened to her son in Cabeza de Lobo.
What am I right now, Bismarck? Willful?
Willful.
Honey, that is why you are here. She has insisted on hearing it straight from you.
You were the only witness to it, Kathy.
No, there were others that ran.
Sister,
Mrs. Holly feeling.
you were just having a sort of nightmare about it. But listen to me, will you, sister? Your cousin Sebastian has left you, bequeathed to you and George in his will.
To each of us, 50 grand each. After taxes, get it? Jesus, what are you up to, huh, sister? Are you trying to ruin us?
George, will you be quiet? You're upsetting your sister.
How elegant George looks. She's gone.
Jesus, sister. What are you up to, huh? You trying to ruin us?
George, would you please be quiet? Yourself and your sister. How elegant George looks.
Jesus! What are you up to, huh, sister? Are you trying to ruin us?
George, will you be quiet? You're upsetting your sister.
Oh, how elegant George looks.
Well, my favorite tool to use was definitely an exercise that our director Payten had us do, where we determined if we were a thinking character, a feeling character, or a willful character. Getting to try all of those different types on inside my character really pointed out to me which character she really is and what she is, which is willful.
So I enjoyed the psychology of the trio, which is thinking, feeling, and willing, and deciding how that would present itself physically. Getting to play with that and saying like, all right, how would your character do if he did everything this way, everything this way, everything that way, and then kind of finding that middle ground between that when you're actually doing the show, I thought was a really fun tool to use.
The Trinity of psychology, which is thinking, willful, and feeling.
I think thinking, feeling, willing.